Thank you everybody for watching this video. Push the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and push that notification bell. It will help us tremendously to grow this channel. We have a bunch of stuff coming out for you, the fans, unique content, so please stay tuned. JHK here for the AllStar, and joining me right now is UFC bantamweight Tony Kelley. Tony, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm good, John. How you doing, bro?
Good, good. I see you in the sauna. Explain the situation right now.
Man, I like to sweat, to get a little sweat in after all of my sessions. I just finished up a little technical work, so now I'm gonna cook this thing up and a little sweat in, you know.
A little cooking, yeah, a little cooking, right? I just saw that. Well, I didn't just see, but recently you were in the corner of Andrea Lee for her victory over Cynthia Calvillo. Man, lights out performance by her. How was it watching the fight from cage side, watching everything play out perfectly?
Oh man, it was incredible. You always go into battle. You prepare to win. You don't always get the result that you want. So it's great when you go in there against a top 5 competitor like Cynthia Calvillo. She's a gangster. We knew how tough she was going to be. We knew how prepared we had to be, and Andrea went in there and executed perfectly, and it was beautiful to watch.
For sure. And anybody that doubts the power in her punches, they know now, right?
They still really don't know. Andrea hits much different than all of these females, I promise you. You flyweights, you better be put on notice, man. If you step across from Andrea, you better have a good game plan because she cracks.
Do you think she's probably likely one fight away from a title shot? Because you know how the division is right now at flyweight. There's not many contenders.
All of that's left to be just foreseen, I guess. We like to work our way up. We hit a rocky little slope there. We had a 3-fight skid. We lost some fights that we shouldn't have lost. I think we still beat Lauren Murphy. The Joanne Calderwood fight, we made some mistakes. The Roxanne Modafferi fight, I think, the head wasn't there in the right spot, but I can't speak for her, but I think we got things ironed out. We're still working. We're looking to get better. And whoever it is, it's interesting because in the mix, you have Caitlin Chikagian, Jessica Andrade. You got a lot of these girls that haven't really moved around much. They've held their stock pretty well. So there's some interesting matchups there to be made, but obviously, yeah, we want to take that title shot, if we can get it.
Yeah. Well, one thing they have all in common is they already fought the champ. Andrea has not, so she has something with her, right? She has that little ace in the cart, in the pocket.
True. I think, to Andrea, she's cool with taking the title fight, obviously, but I think she still probably feels like she needs to earn it a little bit more, with the females in her division that have already kind of earned their shot. She feels like she needs some of those wins back, but I'll let you interview her and ask her those questions.
For sure. July, man, you were lined up to face Trevin Jones, and an injury happened. Could you reveal to us what exactly happened?
Yeah, I ended up, I was just wrestling, and I was in some positions on the mat scrambling, and I had a guy kind of collapse and fall on my shoulder, ended up tearing my rotator cuff. So we've just, been rehabbing it, did some alternative therapies on it, strengthened it back up, altered my game just a little bit, learn how to use some other weapons, and we are suited and booted and ready for the 11th.
The injury to the shoulder, is it something that you've had before in the past, or is it new?
It's new. Yeah, it's new. It's a new one.
So dealing with it, how was it, man? Was it the worst injury, or it was just, a normal?
No injuries really, really great, I tore my knee to pieces, so I'm familiar with some leg injuries. Never had anything with the shoulder, never anything really with the arms or anything like that, so it was kind of new. I'm like a jab heavy guy. I like to jab, kind of had to, rework some methods to get the jab back and things like that. But, the body's a wonderful thing, man. You treat it right, you do the right things, you give it rest when it needs rest, and it'll come back to you.
During the recovery, did you get to, a lot of fighters, they kind of focus on other aspects of their game because one part of their body doesn't, shouldn't be working or doesn't work at that moment. Did you decide to work on some other parts of the game?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is just what is this, like 10% of my weapons? You know what I mean? So we've got 90 other percent to work with. So, fine tuning things and playing with other things, just always constantly getting better, no matter if I got an injury or not. We try to figure out a way to work around, and it's just my lifestyle, man. This is what I like to do. And I think about stuff in like a life or death situation. It's like life or death situation. If I'm caught out here on the street and my shoulder's out or whatever, I'm injured. So what? You still got to be able to hold it down. So
That's an interesting perspective, man. I never thought of it that way.
yeah, I don't like to be a wounded animal. You know what I mean? I'm not a wounded animal.
Yeah, for sure you're not. I'm a wounded apple, you're not, right?
No.
December 11th, man, UFC 269, you return back to action. It almost works out for you, man, because you get to get on this pay-per-view. Randy Costa, thoughts on him and the matchup?
Oh, I love it, man. Randy's a gunslinger, man. What's not to like about that guy? I'm a fan of his style. I enjoy watching him fight. I'm honored to be able to fight the guy because I know that he's going to come out there and he's not going to try and hump my leg and stall out. He's going to bring it and he's going to fight me. And you got to respect real warriors like that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I still think that he's kind of a young kid. He's one of these front runners. He's super tough. He's doing well until he's not, right? And I think he has a little bit of quit in him, and I'm gonna test that theory.
Did you see that in that last fight? The last fight, man, he came out the gate blazing, and then just something happened, right? Did you pinpoint that? Could you pinpoint that?
I don't know if like it was harder than he expected it to be, or he's like, what the fuck? What do I got to do to get Adrian out of here? I don't know, because you can't really tell unless you're in there with somebody else what they feel like, or what's going through their head. But what it looked like to me was like, okay, yeah, I've done everything that I should get somebody out of here, that usually does get somebody out of here, and he's not going away, and he's pushing forward, and he's kind of like, starting to pick up steam. Maybe that doubt creeped in. I'm not certain. You'll have to ask Randy, but that was my assessment of that. Doubt kind of creeped in a little bit. Adrian got his footing and turned the tables.
Yeah, definitely. And for yourself, in the past, in past fights, have you ever went into a fight thinking one way, and then when you actually got in there and started mixing it up, it was a totally different game?
Oh yeah, I mean look, you can prepare for guys all the time, and I tell people this all the time. Like a lot of my training partners, I'm like, look, you can prepare for somebody all day long, but they may come in and they may be something completely different than you prepared for. So I think like, don't worry too much about what somebody else is bringing to the table. Obviously, you need to, you're fighting a world champion grappler or wrestler or something. Yeah, you need to note those things, right? Maybe bring in the training partners and put the things in place to make sure that's airtight. But don't change too much of your style and what you do well, right? Just go do what you do. And at the end of the day, man, a fight's a fight. Anything could happen, really, literally. We see it all the time, but some of these guys got that inner, that dog, you know what I mean? And some guys don't. Some guys are really, really good technicians. Some guys, like, you just can't kill, and I think I'm one of those guys. I call it being a cockroach. Cockroaches can survive fucking nuclear, microwaves, whatever. They're still kicking. You got to be a cockroach.
I've seen you travel a little bit. How have you been splitting your time with this training camp?
Actually, this training camp was much different than a lot of training camps for Andrea and myself specifically. We kind of brought in, I don't want to say brought in, but we kind of like handpicked the people that we want to be a part of what we're doing right now at this moment, and just prepare the best way with the people that we've always prepared with. We started to find ourselves like kind of spread thin, flying out, driving out. We get a week here, 2 weeks here. Like, there's nothing, and I mean nothing, like being able to sleep in your own bed, as you probably know. There's no place like home, right? You cook your meals, you clean your clothes, you do all the stuff that you do and have normal life, So if you could situate that to where you can have your training put in place and all of that put in place, then absolutely, that's what we'll do. So
yeah. Finding the right environment, and then it actually, on the mental side, it helps you.
Tremendously.
You mentioned people, you have around you. Could you give us the details on that?
We just got a cool core group of people, man. It's like a nitty gritty small town group in Shreveport, Louisiana. Wayne Knutsen's my head coach. He's a world champion BJJ black belt, runs SMAA, which is like a Soul Fighters affiliate gym. Is awesome, great guy. And me and Andrea, we live together, we train together, we just kind of, we vibe off of each other, we share techniques and try to elevate as much as we can and help each other. We have our grandmaster, Carol Baker. He's 70 years old, but the baddest martial artist that I've ever known in my life, and I traveled a lot. So, just pick his brain all the time, always introducing new old school techniques, keeping the tradition. Tradition's something that we're strong on, we're both Kyokushin black belts. We're actually 3rd degree black belts. So we keep the tradition with that. We work our kicks. I'm talking like 100 kicks a day, the old school stuff, kendo sticks, you name it, So just good group of guys, Jake, my buddy Jake DeMint. We got Andy. I've got Chad. I've got all these guys around me. They help me whenever I need it. So I'm super blessed, super grateful for that.
With this Randy Costa fight, it's a banger. Everybody's gonna look forward to it. It's a potential fight of the night. We always say that, but with the styles that you guys bring on the feet, it is. What do you see in this matchup?
And just kind of like what you guys are talking about, it's gonna be fireworks, definitely. We're gonna see who breaks first. I've never broke, so I don't have break in me. I don't have quit in me. We'll just find out. I know he's got a good sharp jab, probably the best jab in the division. One of the best in the UFC. Utilizes his range really well. This time, I think people are going to see how intelligent I am. I think I'm every bit as good on the feet. I think I'm better on the feet. So we'll see on the 11th.
PTSD from like injuries, weight cuts, losses, or even just damage taken in a fight. Do you feel like it exists amongst fighters in MMA?
Oh, 100%. The mind, I think the mind has to be the strongest thing. I think the mind has to be stronger than the body. The body follows the mind, and if you have your mind occupied about an injury or occupied about something, or even let's say a scenario, right? Like, oh, I might get knocked out or something. Well, like, you're kind of programming that. You're projecting that shit to happen, right? Like, you have got to be in control of your mind. And I see it all the time. And maybe that's what happened with Randy Costa against Adrian. Maybe he let some thoughts get into his mind and he wasn't absolute, but that's the story right there. 90% of the battle is your mind.
Yeah, going back to the corner after you just dominated the guy and couldn't put him away, that could mess with your confidence, right, heading into the next round.
Perhaps, yeah, and especially how someone starts, like if they're not fazed by it and they come out pretty strong and they're having success against you, like you're kind of like, maybe you start to doubt yourself, or maybe your team, doesn't instill that confidence. I don't know, because there's so many different factors that kind of go into this, but it's a strong mind, man. You got to have a strong mind for this thing. That's what I think that I bring to the table too, John. I think I got a stronger mind than a lot of these guys. I don't want to say all of them because I've seen some of these guys that have strong minds, strong wills, but I'm willing to die for this shit, man. I've never been good at anything else in my life. This is what I do. Like, this is what I've done my whole life. I'm a martial artist. Outside of just being a fighter, I'm a martial artist. I walk that path, and I'm always trying to elevate in any way that I can, right? Whether it's mentally, spiritually, physically, you name it. And on this journey that I've been on, I've learned that the mind is what you got to conquer.
For sure, man. Well, you're going to step into the cage, man, December 11th, UFC 269. Tony, Randy, it's a match made in heaven. Thank you so much, Tony, for the time.
John, thank you so much, brother. Cheers.